Okay, good afternoon, gents. So I'm a little bit late. Market is officially open. It's FOMC day. Let me just let me get rid of this lag. Sync. Okay, sorted. Okay. Right, hope everyone's well. I have just literally marked a trend down here. There does seem to be a little bit of a trend. There's certainly some liquidity there. I did have a look at some of these, but it's just a bit congested, really. There's nothing you can do, really, there. So, okay, 14th of June. That liquidity is about to get hit around 215. Let me think there is some at 220 back up here. So whether there is copy, paste, there's some at 21, which is around about there. So we'll see how we get on. So let's see who's in. Indy, how you doing? What? Good afternoon, Brick. Good afternoon, guys. Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Groll Daddy, good morning. Rodian, good morning. Happy FOMC day. Yeah, we hate FOMC day, don't we? But to be honest with you, it's not until 7 o'clock UK time tonight, so we've got a few hours, so it'd be nice to get something. 2 days without a trade, it's unlikely, that is. It's actually a good sign, I think, to be honest with you. So anyway, hope we don't chop until 2 o'clock. Yeah, we are getting a bit of movement, so you only need one trade, don't you? One good setup and that's it. So no audio again. Do you know what? I got this, this strike, not official strike, but just a warning. And what it was is I got the music off Canva. Well, apparently you've got to keep applying it every day. And I did, I appealed it and they said, yeah, it's fine. I had to do something else and it still gave me another thing yesterday. So I thought I'll get rid of it for now. I'll worry about that after. So Chris, how you doing, buddy? JP, good morning, good afternoon. Hamir, I'm going to have to get that name right. Harminder, that's it, Harminder, I got it. Harminder Singh, how you doing? Morning to my fellow traders, both American. Afternoon to Europe, Asia, and Australia, well said. Speedy just took the fail second entry long and that congestion 1-0 for day, good on you. I did look at this. Because of that liquidity, I thought there was a fair chance we were going to push down, and we did. So, yeah, if you can get in early, kudos to you. Good on you. Now, there is some down here at 10, so I'll put that there, so we'll see whether we come down or not. But I think it's safe to say there's a bit of an overshoot there. It's too early. I mean, to be fair, it's I mean, whether we leave that there or not, it's operating like a range at the bottom, so... let's have a look. There is liquidity around about the 13. Let's start with that lot. Copy. Paste. In fact, last FOMC day, I did okay. 12, 13, there's buy orders. So let's put it from 13 onwards. So I'm guessing buyers are saying, oh, we seem to be ranging. If we push below here, then I'm interested in long. So I'm going to avoid anything like this. Have I missed? Sam, how you doing, buddy? Indy. Yeah, LOL, my headphones were turned down. My bad over there. Yeah, I did have this little sort of jazzy, funky sort of bit of music, but I got it off Canva and then I had a copyright thing. I didn't quite get it. You have it off Canva, I pay the monthly, so you think, but I don't know. But I've just took it off for now anyway. I'll figure it out. Okay, so we have had this channel. In fact, to be fair, I know it's an issue if you move it because it's sideways there, push down, a bit more sideways, push down, so it doesn't really matter now anyway. So JJJ Productions, failure second entry long, failure in the congestion. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit risky. Having said that, if you know what you're looking at, we had that push down, a little bit of sideways, sort of like a bear flag, followed by another push down. There's some liquidity down here, so yeah, a little bit risky. I did look at it myself, but the market was about to open, and I tend to avoid things a little earlier on sometimes because I get a bit trigger happy. In fact, let's put that there instead. See if that makes any difference. Okay, that seems a bit better. Okay, now that has triggered. Let me have a look. 14. If we can get another lower high there. Trouble is, you've got to be careful here because we have bounced off this bottoms, so it could trap you going short there. Touch. See if we can get a lower high here. Let me have a look. Liquidity. There's some around the 21, which is up here. Some around 19, which is here. Okay, I'd say then there's a fair chance that's coming down to here. It was a first entry, unfortunately, and it would have made 2 points, but there you go. So that worked okay, actually. So that channel's quite nice. So let me have a look here. Maybe we are going to get some downward stuff. David, how's the taxes there in the UK when trading Apex? Any Dutch guy here knows how it's in NL? Oh, Netherlands. Well, to be honest with you, I haven't quite got back everything I've put into it yet, so I'm not even thinking about tax. But what I do know is if you're making money out of trading and it's not your main job, so if you work, say, I don't know, 30, 40 hours a week and you do this on the side, I think they do class it as gambling. And I don't think you have to pay tax. However, if you do give up your main job and this becomes your main job, then it is just treated as any other business. You pay, depending on how much you earn, you pay your normal tax, but, any losses or your computer equipment or any other expenses come out exactly the same as a business. That's what I'm aware it is in the UK. I think it's very similar in the US, I think. But don't quote me on that. So let's have a look what's going on here. Now, liquidity it's strong at 19. Now, you've got to be careful going short if you get a lower high, because we have pushed off the bottom and we could do this, trap some shorts and then do that again and work up. We are, after all, at the moment, from what I can see, working in a range, and the reason I can comfortably say that is because we can see what happened here and we can see what happened here. So sometimes you can get a second entry short and go short, and it goes like this and traps you. So you've got to be careful. That's why these liquidity levels are useful. Okay, some at 19, some at 21, lots around the 13, which is below the bottom of this channel. So maybe it will go a bit lower. It's hard to say, but you've got to be careful going short and getting trapped. Because we have come down and bounced off there, and we could be, moving up. So I've got to be careful taking a short here. Could be doing this. So you get a bearish bar, you go short, it triggers you and pushes up. So just be aware of that. I mean, it is a second entry short if it does work. But because we've had these couple of bounces, that's telling me it's operating as a range. Hopefully it won't finish bearish anyway and trap shorts. Okay, that's fine. It's pushing up anyway. So let's have a look. Thought the same. Read different because it's not our own money. Yeah, I think it's just a case of if there's money sat in your account, in your Apex account, you don't pay anything until you actually withdraw it into your bank. So same again, you've got to be careful there. Something happened yesterday. In fact, do you remember yesterday when we had these two? We had this leg down and we had two pushes up. Do you remember me saying we've had a leg down and I can hear that penguin guy? We've made 2 attempts to go higher and failed. And I said that's a trade that he'll jump in. He did and lost it. It came down about 3 or 4 ticks, and I said because sometimes he waits for it to move, I thought it might turn before he takes it, but no, he took it, and that was one of his losses yesterday. He does a lot of that type of trade. He'll say we've had a leg down, we've made 2 attempts to go higher, failure, and went short, and he got trapped there, and that was one of his losses. But at least he came out on some points. See what I mean about this? It's very easy to think we're still in this channel when we've sort of bounced off here a bit. So leg. So yeah, absolutely, Brick. It doesn't matter about fees and all that, expenses. When you're paid money, that's with all the fees, everything taken out of it. And until that money goes into your possession, into your bank, you ain't going to pay no tax. You don't pay tax on something because you could blow that account. That's your investment pot, really. And technically, they own it, really. It's technically yours, but in the eyes of the income tax, until that money's officially in your bank, you haven't earned anything. So I won't worry about that. Okay, so let me have a little look at this. Maybe I can adjust this a fraction. I don't think it matters now. I think we're going up. Let's have a look. Okay, liquidity levels. There's some at 18. 21, 20 and 23, which is up here. 20, 21 and 23. Liquidity levels here and here, and there is one. There's so many. See, there's so many around here. Trying to think the strongest ones, and there is some down at 13. Let me have a look. First entry now, you could call that a failure. Now you've got to be careful there because we could have a break out of here and come back down. In fact, let's move these over because they're just going to confuse it a bit. We can see roughly where they are. Let's have a look. What's going on here? There is a bit of support there, that midline. You can clearly see it there, can't you? And here. So it is possible this channel is having a break followed by a new low. It's possible. Now you see that bar there, that's triggered. See what happens now. Let's have a look. Uh, 25 is the top of the line up there. There's a bit of a black area around here. 14, 15 to 16 and a half down here as well. So that one did work. Trouble is, it was just a first entry, and really, the channel hadn't been confirmed. It does look like it fits nice there. $22 is strong. 24 is strong. So I'd say this may just continue up. It's operating like a range. We got those bunch of touches there, and same again, it clearly bounced off those. So it's clearly respecting this. So I'd say there's a fair chance now we've got above this midline that that's going to get to the top. Certainly to 24, unfortunately. You might have called that a first entry and a failure. I'm not a fan of it, to be fair. Yeah, that's working its way up here. Exactly right, yeah. Exactly right. It doesn't matter what it shows in Apex, it's when it's in your bank. That's where the tax implications come into play. But don't forget, every time you've paid your money and taken a valuation and blown it, or taken a PA or blown it, or paid for any training, any courses, any licenses, any computer equipment, desks, even heating, electricity in your home, obviously internet, all those get taken into consideration as well. They're all tax expenses. So until it's in your bank, incidentally, my $2,000 at my Revolut bank account overnight from Apex. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll have another one next week. Well, I'll apply for another one next week. So I took this reversal, failed second entry. Yeah, I just wanted to give it a bit of time, because although the bottoms are working like a range, there was a possibility it could continue down, because it's a little bit early in the day, and I wanted to give it sort of chance to come down, and then maybe we end up having a bigger down day, because we've had lots of up days lately. But if I'm looking at all that congested area up there, strong at 25, this is definitely pushing up. Obviously, we can clearly see it is. But it just goes to show how important things like this book map are. I put these here to show these areas of liquidity, and look what's happened. So it's strong at 24. The strongest I can see is 27, which is, funnily enough, just above this range. Now, if you're going to play these range rules, where you're going to be thinking about selling or taking your profits from the bottom? At the top. Yeah, it doesn't always in a range day. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But if it comes up here and bounces off the top and comes down and breaks lower than there, that's still the same, really. But yeah, I believe the range takes precedent. It doesn't always, and sometimes I've got trapped in trades when we've gone up and we've had a break, believing that we're going long, and it comes down, and it's because of the range. So range is important. If it comes up here and it hasn't made a break, it doesn't really matter too much, because if we're in a range, just short the tops and buy the bottoms. So if no one's buying up here and everyone's shorting, price is going to come down regardless of whether we've bounced off here and tried to make a new high. So sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I think it's safer in a range day just not to assume it's going to, and just take trades on their merit, what they are doing as opposed to what you think they should do. Yeah, it'd be nice to get a trade today. I haven't had one for the last 2 days, but in all fairness, I haven't really seen. I think I've seen one okay trade in the last 2 days, but I missed it. Apart from that, I haven't seen a lot. It's a really choppy few days. Okay, so touch, close enough. It's fair, I think, to assume this may be making a break. So let's see how far it comes down. So where could it come down? There is some liquidity at 21, which is here. There's a bunch around here, so it may make a couple of legs down now. And it goes up 3/4 of the way or 2/3 of the way to the top, and it does make a break, then I've got no issues with going long. But if it comes right to the top, as indeed it came to the bottom, so I did look at that short, and I thought because we bounced off here, it was going to come down a bit and then go up. And I've been trapped in trades like that before, and that's why I tend to avoid them, really. Especially if in a range day. Obviously, that came down okay. Okay, strong at 19. Yeah, it's definitely moving. Where's the strongest I can see? That's what I mean. It just keeps moving up as it's drawing up. There is some at 30. That's about the top of the line. The strongest. There's some around 29 as well. I expect to pop out the top of here. Strong. Yeah, okay. 28 to 30, so definitely around this area here. In fact, there we go. Beautiful. Where was it? There. So yeah, around this area there. Just easier doing that. So strongest area is there. 26 to 30. So it could sort of end up somewhere in there. 26. Yeah, with a bit of a gap here. Strong just below the top there. Now I'd say it's safe to assume this is a break, but I wouldn't be taking a short here just yet, even if that does come bearish. It's not going to annoy, but 28 to 30, that is. So there is a chunk around there. And 26. Somewhere around this area. Interesting. Let me just see whether I could move that. I probably could, actually. Yeah, okay. I like that. That fits nice for me. That does. Fits very nice. So I'd say this, yeah, I got no issues with that. That fits perfectly in there. So this is my first break. Now I am aware there's liquidity around about this top line. So depending on how this finishes, you've got to be careful because people may jump in that and short it because we're close to the tops. Or they may go long. It's hard to say. It's going to have to be a really good setup. But it's so easy to trap. Same thing there. You could, fortunately, I mean, you may have took that as a second entry. Now, it didn't trigger, so that was okay. So strong around there. Some strong buying around there. I've got to say, since I started trading with Bookmap, we haven't had much in the way of range days. There's been lots of trending days. When I say range days, I mean that, you know, not just a small area of range. There's lots of movements in this area, but, you know, it's respecting this quite tightly so far. So, okay, so possible second entry long. I'm happy to say that's in there. If I'm going to spec the market to go higher after a channel, it's going to do it here and not up here. That actually touched the bottom and broke out the bottom. So I'm not thinking about going lower than this channel there. Here I am, because I am aware there's strong liquidity levels at the top here. So if we can get a second entry, come down a bit. shit happened there? What the hell happened there? Where's my thing gone? Oh my God, what is going on here? Where has that just disappeared to? I don't need that. Where's my indicators? Where's me? Oh, Christ almighty. I don't know why that's just disappeared. Okay, let's remove that. What is going on here? I don't know where that's all gone. Okay, let's do it the old-fashioned way.
Order submitted.
Okay, let's see how this finishes. Okay, strong liquidity levels at 26, 27, 28. So if we can get a decent bullish bar here, then I'm going to go long there. That's not what I wanted. Don't know why that's just disappeared. Custom. Oh my Christ, what's going on here? Unfortunately, it's finished on a doji. Now, it's probably going to push up, but I just can't get involved in there. Now, there's a failure there. I just clicked the Alt button down here, and that just disappeared.
Order cancelled.
Why is that still showing there? Oh no. What is going on here? Close. Oh God. Buy limit. I do not want to buy there. Come on. Cancel order. Cancel all orders. Come on. Don't piss me around now. Cancel orders. Okay. Apex, flatten everything. I didn't want this. Hopefully it has cancelled it, but I'm just going to flatten everything with Apex anyway. Don't come down. Flatten accounts. Flatten accounts, okay. Right, I'm just going to restart this quickly. I don't know what's gone on there. Let me just quickly reboot this. What is going on? Can't get rid of that for some reason. Can't get rid of that pending order. Just don't come down whatever you do. Okay, I think that's gone. Cancel all orders. Right, I'm just going to shut this down again just to see if it gives me a prompt. Do you want to save your setup? Yeah, okay. It's all right. Sorry about that. So when I went to shut it down, it says you have one order pending. So I've opened it up and that pending order's gone, and I've just shut it down again, and that's not showing again. So I don't know why that's happened. But for some reason, I hit the Alt button, which is what I do with this bit of software here. And something didn't go right. I'll have to look back on that later, find out what I did. That's annoying. Ghost, it happened to me before. Yeah, it's not showing now anyway. There's nothing showing here and here. I didn't like that. Okay, so let's get Replicante back open. It's that software that did it there, I think. Where's Replicante? Oh, it is. Okay, so lead account is 20. Exact quantity. No. Pre-allocated. God, I've got to go through this again. So Apex is 4. That's 4. That's 4. That's 2. That's 2. Okay, that's frustrating. No, not 44. 4. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, my 3 Apex evaluations are 24 contracts on each. 444. The 2 other PAs are 2 and 2. Lead account is 20. Lead account is 20. 2 contracts. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but that just... Oh, dear me. For some reason, that one-click trader, I clicked the button there and something just didn't like something. Okay, look at this. That's frustrating as well. Look, see what I wasn't focusing. We got a high low there. Pretty sure it's coming up here. The same thing with pending order happened to me yesterday. I closed it in rhythmic manually. Ninja Trader was not responding, but we're just fine. Yeah, it is frustrating, that, isn't it? Bit frustrated there because that's a trade I could have taken there. Let me see if that would have given me 2 points. Not yet. 2 points is on the top line. See if that pushes back up. Let me have a look. Liquidity at 28 here. There's a possible failure there. We've made a new high, so it's just too risky, that. As tempting as I am, too risky. Okay, so liquidity 26 there. 27, 28. Wow, there's some up here of 50 as well. Just going to drag this out of the way for a time. For some reason, that bit of software out there, that one-click trader, as soon as I clicked on my Alt key and clicked here, that should put a buy order. For some reason, something didn't work there. It's a bit frustrating there. I'd have gone long there, or would I have done? Maybe not. Actually, it's a bit too close to the highs. So look, would it have made it? That's a break there. Good morning. Nothing better than walking up and being paid by Apex. Waking up. Yeah, same here, Tyler. I had mine, I think it was late last night or early hours. I can't remember. But yeah. In fact, I'd have probably got in there a little bit earlier. Probably at the top, I tend to get in there. So my 2 points is there. Liquidity up here. 26. There's a mass of sell orders at 44.50 up here. A mass of sell orders. So maybe somebody knows something we don't. Are we pushing up to there? Maybe. Let's see what happens here. See if we can get a bigger channel here. But someone knows something. That's a massive orders, that is. So someone's put that up there. There's nothing showing here anyway. There's nothing pending. It was frustrating there. I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. I'll have to look back and find out exactly what happened there. The trouble is, in fact, I wouldn't have taken that one, and I'll show you why. Because of that. You go along there, it could trigger above and come down. Okay, so it would have worked anyway, but I doubt I'd have taken it after this. But let's see what happens now. Because that strong liquidity there is come to there. So maybe now we may end up pushing up in a channel. Let's have a look. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see what happens at the top here. See if this turns into a range, a channel. Or now let me have a look. So 27, 28, and 30. So let me have a look. Some at 28, some at 30. Here. So this looks like a leg with a correction, another leg. Hopefully. So where does this take us to? 33. Okay, there is some at 33, so I'd say the chance of this going up here is pretty good. Unfortunately, it needs to come back here first before we can think about going along there. But it does look like a leg with a bit of a correction and another leg. At least the market's moving. Now, if you took that higher low, under the circumstances, I don't think it's a terrible trade. The bit that makes me nervous about these, I like to get a little break here and a little bit of a low. Do you know what I mean? That's the only downside, I will say. Made my bones off that. I'm green. Good for you, mate. Yeah, I don't think it was a terrible trade. I mean, touch. It's clearly working up there, isn't it? The trouble is sometimes trades seem a lot better after the market's moved. Okay, so still strong liquidity at 30. Now the liquidity now is coming down to 25 area, so if it comes back here, it's likely going to pick up some buy orders. Very strong around about the 25 to 26 area. So around about 25 to 26. Very strong area there. So if it comes back to there, yeah, 25 to 26 strong, that tells me we're going to bounce back here and then push up. As I mentioned, there's very strong liquidity, so we could get a couple of pushes, maybe a break, something like this, and then turn into a bigger channel. But I think we're going to see some upwards movement, hopefully. At least then we've got an option to make a, He took that. I'm surprised, actually, because he's very, very strict in his trades. The reason I didn't take it was because I was pissing around with this. But the trouble is, it's not a massive amount of room to the highs, so you just got to be a bit careful. And obviously this little channel here with a break, you never know. People might consider that at the top of the range, see. We thought after that we might get a breakdown and another low, but so it's one of those things, isn't it? Some might like it, some might not. The option wasn't available to me because I was pissing around with all this lot. So very strong at 30. We haven't hit that yet. So if we can get a couple of legs down here to this area, then I'll go long for sure. Come on. Also strong 22 to 23, this area. So we got these two areas. But I'm definitely saying that is fitting nice as a channel. And at the top as well, so no arguments from me there. Touch, spot on. Come on, let's get back here. Another baking day in the UK today. 28 degrees where I am. Come on, come back here a bit. Come on. So strong at 33. I expect this measured leg to get hit. It's strong at 33. So if we can get a couple of legs back here, then you could potentially, if you get it in the right place, then it's a potential hold there. I just hope it comes back, because a lot of the time when, you know, we're thinking about this measured leg, everything's starting to look bullish. Sometimes it doesn't get back here and people just jump on it. Second entry long in the middle of nowhere. Just can't take that. Come down to 24-ish. Yeah, what you've got to be careful of as well is a possible fell break out of here. Now, judging by the levels of liquidity up here, I'm not thinking along that lines. Wary of going long, because pre-release FOMC days tend to be in a holding pattern versus trend, leaning towards fell breakout of range. Yeah, I'll just mention that possible breakout. Second entry long there, still not a fan of that. I prefer it to push below and then push up again. I'm not going for a huge amount of points anyway, so it'd just be nice to get a 2-point trade for once. I've had nothing since Friday. Same again, I think that's just too risky. It's a little bit congested. For me, it's got to come back to this area. Otherwise, I'll have to just sit and watch it go by. Hey, Nick, how you doing, buddy? Where you been hiding? You had a quick fly away to your private island? I seem to have found some clarity, mate. I haven't taken a NAF trade for a while, actually. I haven't taken a trade for the last 2 days. Something's just seemed to have clicked with me. I just seem to sit quite happily and wait for a good setup, nothing less. I haven't revenge traded. I haven't done anything wrong in a week. And I'm feeling really good and positive. Managed to get a $2,000 payment, came into my bank last night. Hopefully I'll have another one by the end of the month. So, you know, what's going well at the moment. How are you getting on, mate? It's clearly a bit congested, so maybe we're going to work sideways a bit to this area and then have another push. Don't tell me you've been off because you've had such a bad hangover from your birthday. So we've got 1 leg, 2 leg, plus I reckon there's going to be 2 smaller legs there. And depending on where this finishes, hopefully down here. Very strong liquidity at 30. If we can get down somewhere, I'm quite happy just to get 2 points, although I think it's going higher, but 2 points right about now would be lovely. Don't hit that 30 yet. You've been around lurking, have you? You and me both, mate. Yeah, I own that. In fact, the fact that I haven't taken one the last 2 days, because in my honest opinion, I haven't really seen one good enough. There may have been one, but I really seem to be in a good place. I've had no urges to take anything stupid at all. It's just like I've completely changed. But I'm really relishing the feeling, so I think that's a good thing. And, you know, I like to believe at some point something had to change. It probably all go to shit by the end of the day. But no, I'm not in a rush to trade. I'm quite happily ticking over. I'm quite happily just taking something that jumps out at me. Nothing more, nothing less. I've left plenty of trades, and a good chunk of them wouldn't have worked. So everything seems to be rosy. I'm enjoying trading now much more. I don't find that powerful urge to trade. I'm quite happily at the end of the day finishing and doing other things. So far, so good. But yeah, I could probably do without a pinky as well for a trade. I'd like a little more than 2 points though to lose one. But don't hit that level yet. Hopefully I'd rather come back first and come down. I think everyone is seeing that. Yeah, I mean, not many people have said, probably because they're still in shock and disbelief. But at some point you change. I think it's inevitable. You can only get hammered around so much. I just got fed up of having that sickening feeling while I was in a trade that I took that I know I shouldn't have done, and that I just jumped in and took a bad trade scrappily, trying to get a couple of ticks just out of pure luck and just gambling. I just got so sick of the feeling. I can't do it anymore. I'm not going to put myself through that anymore. So since I've decided that, something's changed. Long may it last. Come on, come back here and give us something. Come down, come on. Trouble is, this is strong. That liquidity is really strong. It could just sort of suck it up. No one's selling here, are they? Probably not many people are buying here. Yeah, that's just absorbed that now, isn't it? Yeah. So that level's gone. There's some at 33, which is a tick off that measured leg. So I expect that to work. Unfortunately, it's just not come back and give us anything good enough, really. Yeah, see, the trouble is with that one, we'd had this little channel down here, and you just don't know whether it's going to come up a couple of times and then come down. You don't know. It depends what people are thinking here. And obviously, we've gone from the bottom to the top to the bottom. Where do you think we're going to go? Possibly the top. The top's an option, and we had this leg. We haven't had a convincing break, so you just don't know. You just don't know where that's going to go. But there is enough room up here if that's what you're thinking. But unfortunately, I had that trade stuck, so I didn't have the option. It already moved by the time I got in. There was a failure there, but it's a little bit far away, but that worked as well. Okay, come back here, give us something. Give us something. I feel like this book map is also helping and not feeling... Yeah, absolutely, that's the way I seem to it. I don't feel like I'm in the dark. Yeah, on chart. Yeah, absolutely, mate. It does. It gives you a bigger picture, doesn't it? We can see these bigger levels up here, can't we? So the chances of it going to it, especially when we're in a range, otherwise, we don't know whether it's going to end here or here, but now we can see these levels appearing. That's where I'm assuming, because we're in an uptrend, that's where profit levels are. And if there's large amounts of profit levels, you'd say there's a good chance a lot of that has to be institutional guys or the bigger pockets. And especially at 50, it'd be interesting to see if it does get up there. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, where is it? It's only 20 points away from where we are now. If we can get a decent setup here, then I'm quite happy. See, we've had this sideways, and a lot of the time we'll push up, and we came down. A lot of times we'll push up and go sideways until we get a decent looking bar, and then off it'll go again. So I want it to drop out really, and where's this? Yeah, see this liquidity in this area here. So Trouble is, it just might take off before we've had the chance. That might be the one. Trouble is, if you take it, it might tick above and come back. So in my opinion, it's not good enough. You could probably readdress that to there. Yeah, that's better. It's got to come down here for me, really, and then it's got to drop down and sit nice and bullish right there at that key entry point for me to go long. Okay, so strong at 30, which is there, which we haven't really hit yet. Okay, that second lot we are hitting now. Okay, smash straight through there. Yeah, see, I didn't deem that would be a good enough bar to go in, really. It could have still come a bit more sideways to here. Hopefully it might come back. Yeah, this is measured leg, unfortunately. There's just no entry at the moment. Absolutely. Well, perhaps the book map has helped me a little bit. It would make sense. It's just given me a little bigger picture, giving me a little bit more confidence and belief on what I'm doing. But I've got to say, I did do some revenge trading early part of last week. As I mentioned, I blew an account, and something just hit me. I felt physically sick doing it. My hair was standing on end. My heart, I just hated it. And that's it. I thought enough's enough. I'm not feeling like that again. It's just punishment. It's horrible. Okay. Come on, give me something here. Come on. I'm still going to be patient. It's come out, pull back in. It's got to come down here for me, really. Strong at 32, strong at 33. New low. Triangle once, triangle twice. Possible failure. Okay, that's more like it. Right, now let's get an order ready.
Order submitted.
Now, there is strong liquidity, 28, which is hit, and there is some around about 22.5 to 24, which is around about here. So you've got to be careful we don't get two legs down. I'm going to get rid of that.
Order cancelled.
Because this could be a break and then a push up to this measured leg, and then if it continues up, then we may extend this this channel. But it's got to be a bloody good setup. Still liking this liquidity. It's making sense to me that it's getting pulled up this way. That liquidity's moved lower. Can't see that happening. So around about here. I would say, depending on how this finishes, it may turn into a wider channel. It's too early yet, but it'll be interesting to... that kind of fits there. Interesting. We'll see. See where it comes to. Stay where I'd put you. Strong around here, 20 to 21. Have a look at that again. See, this is the problem. It is possible that could be a failed breakout. I don't think it is, because we pushed out quite strongly. I think it's going to work its way back up, whether we have a bit of a break and we have another attempt to go low and then push up. Just with these liquidity levels, I can see, you know, it's been dragged up. But there is a possibility of this. And this is where it traps shorts. That's if I'm right. See what happens if it triggers below here. I'm not going to go short here. Okay, see what happens. Yeah, I know what you're saying, bud. Yeah, there's probably going to be some people who short that. For me, I think it's risky. It might work, but I'm thinking after it's pushed out and it's come back and it's pushed out, just with these levels up here, I'd say it's more likely to continue up. If you have a leg and another push. Excuse me a sec, I'm just going to move my fan. I'm sweating my arse off. Okay, let's see if this makes a second entry short. If it does, I think it's going to trap some shorts. I might be wrong, but that's what I think if it does trigger. The trouble is there is some liquidity levels here, so it's just hard to say. It is possible it could have a couple of pushes up and then come down. But I'm unsure enough not to go short. I'm not going either at the moment. I want to see it start to push higher and maybe trap some shorts before I'm thinking about going long, but I'm aware of these strong levels up here. I would prefer it to trigger above there and trap some shorts. No offense to any shorts. Taking that. See what happens if it tricks above there. Okay, interesting. Let's see if this comes down. Trouble is, I've done that before. I've gone long above here and it's triggered me and turned into a double trap. Not only that, we could have a leg and a leg which might push above there, and then it comes down. So I've got to be doubly careful here. But that's the beauty about getting more and more experience and getting trapped. You learn to stay out of them. So we've got a leg and a leg. That could be a perfect measured leg, and it may come down. I don't think it will, but you just don't know. So if we can get a failure here, it would make sense to push higher. Lots of liquidity up here. But I've also got to try and not get trapped. Because I'm aware 22 to 23, there is some areas of liquidity here. So if you did take that, it triggered you and stopped you out. It's only a first entry, so but that's a trade I would have taken in the past. So come back here a bit and give us a failure, and then I'm happy to go long then. You might just take your 1 point and call it. Yeah, market is moving, and I'm getting the feeling there's going to be opportunities. It's doing what it should do. You know, we've had this push up, we've had a break. It clearly to me looks like it's trying to push higher. Strong areas up here. I just want another failure really. Just can't get in up here, see. See if we can get a bearish bar here. Break. 2 legs up. Second entry short. Trigger some shorts. And then that would give me the failed second entry short to go up. But the way that's just pushed up nice and bullish, I'd say there's a lot more people thinking about going long than there is short. Okay, second entry short, which is triggered. Now, do I want to go? I would prefer it to come down a bit first to give us a failure. I'm not just going to take it on top of there. Let's get an order ready.
Order submitted.
There's going to be some shorts in there possibly. Break, 2 legs up. See how this finishes. New low, trigger once, trigger twice. Second entry short triggered. 5 ticks from top to bottom. That's about 4 ticks in profit for those. Let's see how this finishes. Still thinking about breaking these highs and getting up to these liquidity levels up here. Okay, I like that. Come on.
Order filled.
Okay, let's not be greedy. Where are we? 850, 950, 1050. It's got to break above here for me. New low, trigger once, trigger twice, failure. It's got to push above here. I'm going to give that 1 extra tick. It's 2 point risk, so it's not huge. That's why I'll give it an extra tick, see if it triggers this and then pushes up. 1 leg, 2 leg. It's hard to say. Yeah, I might be trapped here. See if it triggers that. No, push up. That's why I give it an extra tick. Push up, come on. Second entry long. They're the areas to give them an extra tick. Still might lose it, but it's looking more and more. A lot of times you'll get triggered out for a tick. If that finishes bullish, then I think we're good to go up. Fingers crossed, eh? Fingers crossed. Yeah, in hindsight, I'd have been better off putting it one tick above there. I do sometimes, and I have done. As long as we break above here, I think we're okay to go long then. But see how that tick quickly and then reverse. That's why sometimes, especially areas like this where I think we're going up, but you might just get trapped. Come on, push up. Oh, still might come down yet. Strong areas at 31, 32. Got to get above here. If we can get above here, I think we're okay to the top then. That's a second entry long, which is triggered. So that's another reason why I gave it an extra tick. Come on. Still struggling. It's a second entry long, and there's also likely to be shorts above there. So if we can get above there, then I'm confident we'll get our points. Come on, buyers, get in there. I still think it's okay to hold the trade. It is now anyway. There we go. Now push up. Come on. One leg, two leg. Let's have a look. One leg, two legs. This is where I expect it to go. In fact, I'm going to take 8, 9, 10. I'm going to go for 3 points here because I think it'll work. One leg, second entry long, 2 legs. Going to break this high. Mine's one tick above there. There's that strong liquidity at 32. I've come out early, so I think that's good. Yeah, there are certain areas where that extra tick makes a difference, and it clearly did there. As I saw this coming down, I thought there was a possible second entry long there. That, for me, I would say was probably a bit too far away, but I am expecting it to go higher. It was probably a bit too far away for my liking, but there we go. But it's a second entry long. I think we're okay. Leg, second entry long leg. I think it's likely to make that measured move.
Target filled.
Beautiful. Okay. Saved by that extra tick. It does make a difference. Let me just check everything's closed. We had a break of it. there was a failure. In all fairness, the reason I took that's usually a bit far away from the EMA. I like the body down here, but the reason I took it is because there was a second entry short which triggered and it started to reverse. And I thought there's only a few ticks to the top. Now, in a lot of cases, I take these traps one tick above there. But for me, it looked like it was going up, so I took it a bit early. If I'd have taken it there, it would have been a better decision to make, and I'd have still got, if I'd have taken it there, what would I have got now? I'd have still got 3 points. So a lot of times you see me do that. These traps, I usually take them one tick above, but I didn't that time. The reason being because I thought there's only a couple of ticks. And then it triggered me and came back down. You noticed it dropped quickly and reversed, and that's really just to stop people out there. So I'm assuming that's the algorithm which drops quickly. So I realised what was happening, gave it an extra tick, and luckily it worked in my favour. So lesson for me again, second entry short trap, put it one tick above there, and then put your profit below there, which would have been, your stop, which would have been 2.5 points. Maybe that one, 2.5 points. That's fine. I've got no problem with that. So the reason that came down, that was a little bit too far away. But normally, as I say, I'd have put my order there. And then as it ticked through and triggered me, my stop would have gone here, and that would have given me points anyway. But by the by, sometimes things go in your favour. But took that too, got out of break even. I'm assuming, did you take that one? See, and obviously then after we had the failure, we had a second entry long, and that was a better trade. And after we've had these pushes up like that, it's clearly, one, we're pushing up to break the new high. Two, there's strong levels of liquidity up here. So for me, that was happening. I got out just at the right place. I'd say we're still probably going to go high, but we may have a little bit of a push. But at the end of the day, I saw Mac live trade sometimes. He has an extra tick. Yeah, I've mentioned that a few times. I heard Max say he needs to give it at least one tick. And some circumstances, I do. I went for a stage of doing it all the time. And in certain areas like this, I don't think it's bad practice. Because that 112 dot, what is it? I'm on 2 contracts. So one tick, that's 20. So that extra $25 of risk has just made me 300. So, even if, I would have lost that. So if I'd have, that extra 25 risk has given me 300 in this one account, 300 in 2 other accounts. And so yeah, I'll drag that in quickly. You can see that, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Here's my 3PA account. So I've just stuck literally just under $900 in there, and I'm trading 4 contracts, so there's 1,600 there. So just by giving that one a tick, it stopped me from making that. It's allowed me to make that instead of losing all that amount. So that extra one tick in some circumstances plays a good part. So fortunately for me, what I should have done, and in my opinion the right way, is put it one tick above there. A lot of the times I do that, and I see other people saying, yeah, I took it here. So I thought, okay, it's nearly close to it, let's put it here. But that would have been the safer area, because as soon as it broke above there, push, straight up. You can see, obviously, the reaction there, because there's a second entry there. You may call that a lower high, or a lower high, which is triggered. So, and obviously, once you break that area, so next time, lesson learned for me, that's it, it's worked out fine. But next time, put it one tick above the trap. And that's an even better trap. And you can see the reaction, can't you? It just literally pushed up to 2.5 points pretty quickly. But yeah, I've heard Mac mention extra ticks, because obviously Mac will have experienced that. If anybody's traded for a while, we've all experienced getting knocked out for a tick. It's frustrating as hell. But Yili and Mac say so many times, it'll often trigger you, come down, tick you out by one tick, and stop you out by one tick, and then go up in the same bloody direction. So you shorted where I got out. Oh, there, did you? Oh, good for you, mate. Good for you. So we've made a new high, and we've come back here, but I think it's likely, now I did mention this earlier, that we're going to make a wider channel, because there's still a very strong liquidity up there. So I think personally it's likely to do something like that. Might be wrong, but there you go. So fortunately for me, I had a good idea what was happening, which is why I gave it the extra tick, and it worked. Even with the extra tick, it was still only a 2-point risk, which in the grand scheme of things lately isn't bad really. I mean, we've all heard Max say 2-point maximum, but over the last sort of year or so, sometimes we just haven't been lucky enough. You know, I've taken trades where it's been 4, 4.5, and 5-point risks. So a 2-point risk, even with an extra tick's nothing. And not only that, a lot of the times you'll see me. Now, Mac will say, if you're going to take that bar, drop your market order in 1 tick above that. I don't. I hold my limit order actually on the close. So as soon as it breaks up, I drop it there, wait for it to come back and trigger me. So straight away, I always save 1 tick. So what you can do is if you save that tick, is just give yourself an extra tick there. All circumstances don't work, but I find sometimes in these breaks, they work, and sometimes there was a while ago I got taken out for a tick there at one of the tops. So certain circumstances it's worth it, but if you save a tick by putting a limit order on the close, add it at the bottom. You might get, it might save you sometimes. If it saves you once in a while, it's worth doing. So needs to revise his rules. Stop losses. Yeah, I think he just probably doesn't want to make it too complicated, but I agree with you. I mean, at the end of the day, if you write a great book 10 years ago, they'll update it, won't they? Because things, methods, ideas change. And Mac will know that. You got to change and adapt with the markets. So Mac used to trade, well, he still trades 1 point. Everyone used to trade 1 point, but that was back in the day when you had a maximum of a 2-point risk. You don't always get it now, see? So if there's bigger bars, bigger risk, more movement, it goes without saying you've got to have more profit. Even if, I know people like Marco and Daniel now trade 6 ticks, 50% extra, and I think that's sensible because a lot of the time you are risking more than 2 points now. So in the end of the day, that worked out. So happy days. So I've got 3 evaluations not far off. One's if I go 3 contracts, 3 points, 300. I'll work for that one. So if I change 76 to 3 contracts, is that right? 8. So, yeah, okay, it's around it. Just put up 20, 15 contracts a point is not bad profit. Yeah, I know what you're saying, mate, but in all honesty, if bars are bigger now, risks and stops are bigger, it goes without saying you have to move, your profit. Because if each bar is bigger now, even maybe by 20% than it was a few years ago, then surely your profit will move that distance as well. Do you know what I mean? And not only that, is when I started this 2 years ago now, once I worked my ass off and got 4 trades in a row. And the last trade I did, the 5th trade I did, was about a 3.5 bar with a tick above it, tick below, and I lost it. Now, take away commissions, I ended up in the red. So I was firing on 80% win rate, and I ended up in the red, and it was just heartbreaking for me, and that's why I decided to change to 2 points. And one of our members at the Facebook group, most of you'll know him, Daniel. He's an experienced guy, makes a lot of money now, does really well. Okay, possible second entry long. And I looked at his charts for 2 weeks, his previous charts for the previous 2 weeks, so 10 days. And I counted about 32 trades. And every single one of those trades would have gone at least 2 points. And that was 34 trades would have doubled. Now, that's a no-brainer for me. Okay, so we've had a bit of a break here, so I'll be going higher, I'd say. So do I want to take that long? sometimes I get a bit scared to take a long when I'm up a nice. What's the Facebook group called? I'll get out for you. Now, we've had this break and we've made a new high, so that's played out. So I'm going to take the extra safe option. It makes sense to me if that ends up bullish. It's going higher with the liquidity. But the safe game, and is we've had a break. We've made 2 legs up, made a new high, so hopefully it'll finish crap. Who asked that, Brick? Yeah. Post your charts on here, mate. I did for the first year or so. I still do time to time, but I put them on daily and ask for feedback. Because there's loads of experienced guys on here. It's just, there it is there. That's it. Max, let's move over a bit. That's it there. That's it. It's just called Max Price Action Day Trading, but there's loads of stuff on there. Marco posts his trades from yesterday. Just post your charts on there every day and ask for feedback, and that's how I learned. Closed on Monday, yes. Isn't it Junty or something you call it? Junty? I'm not sure what it is. You guys have some weird holidays, Junty. So leg. I forget what I was saying yet. Was I rabbiting on again? Tremendous. I do need a bit of accountability. Yeah. Put your charts on there, bud. But anyway, I know what I was talking about. That's when I went from 1 point to 2 points. Now, I doubled my profit, and that happened 34 times in a row on his. So that, for me, it was a no-brainer. Even if it would have worked 50, 60% of the time, it's still worth it. But it happened 100% of the time off 34 trades. For me, it was a no-brainer. You know, if you're still taking a point, don't take my word for it. Look on the Facebook groups and look at the charts of the experienced trade. Don't look at Max charts, because a lot of the charts he marks are slightly more risky, slightly more for experienced, and based on going for 1 point. So look at people like Daniels and people like Marco's and people like Jopes. Look at their channels, their trades, and look at the good trades. You'll know where the good trades are and work out how much points they would have made. And if you're turning down a minimum of 2.5, 3 points 95% of the time, and you're still only taking a point, right, I don't think that's a bad trade to go long, but I'm not taking it. 1, it's an inside bar. 2, that has played out. But I would say it's likely to go up just because of these liquidity areas, but I'm staying out of it, personally. Yeah, see what I mean? There is a possibility that could come down and trap you, because that has played out. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to go higher. I think it is, but it may come down a bit and pick up some more buyers around about 26. Let's have a look. Around about the 26 there's some, so that area, so we could. I hope it doesn't if anybody's taking that second entry long, but it is an inside bar and it's a little bit congested. Or hopefully it may trap some shorts. But this is going to be trap city, this. If that breaks below there, it's a possible failed second entry short. It's a failed second entry long, which is triggered. It's a second entry long, which is triggered. But that's almost definitely going to get stopped out if you took that. Now, hopefully you'll put your stop below there, but I still think it's going to get you. Yeah, that's why I didn't go there. It is a second entry long, but 1, it's an inside bar, and 2, we have made a new high after this. But there is lots of liquidity, so I think we may just come back, pick up some more buy orders, maybe bounce off here, and then push up. So we may get a couple of legs back, and then some more upwards. So I get 3 points. I tell you what, Tyler, look at people like look at some charts of more experienced traders and look at their charts and work out, if you'd have taken their trades, how much profit would it have moved? Just look through other people's charts that you think are a bit more experienced, or look at your own charts. We all know, when you've been trading a while, a year maybe or so, something like that, you know what a good trade looks like. You know what a good entry looks like. So that one there, second, well, actually I took that one, but if I put there, people are going to think I got stopped out, so let's leave it there. Second entry long, yeah. Now, would that have made over 2 points? Clearly. If you went there, yeah, I mean, it went up to about there, didn't it? So it would have clearly made 2 points. If you took that one there, obviously clearly made 2 points. I can't see anything else, but just in the last 2 trades, straight away, you've doubled your profit twice. So even if the next one you lose, you're still up. So it's a no-brainer for me, but it's a personal thing. Some people like playing the game the way that Mac does it, the safe way. But what I will say to you is just remember, Mac trades 20 contracts. He trades 15 on a scalp and he trades 5 on a runner. Now, Mac's experienced. He'll know if he takes these trades. He knows where this is likely to go and he'll hold his runner, and that's where he makes most of his money. But he also says don't trade more than 20% of your risk size on your runner. So what he's saying there is if you can afford to trade 5 contracts, trade 4 on a scalp and 1 on a runner. But most of us, including me, haven't got the luxury of being able to afford to trade 5 contracts. So I have to find a compromise, but I find it heartbreaking when you see if you took that trade and moves like this every time you take a trade. And if you took that, all you're taking is that tiny bit. Look what happened. Made 10 times that nearly, or 8 times that. It's heartbreaking to leave that much on the table. Now, if you can afford to trade 15 on a scalp and you're confident enough to know where the market's going, then that's where you'll make most of your money. Absolutely, DBK. That's why I said it's a personal thing. Some people just want to do it that way, but what I find is the more experience you get and you see these big moves after every good trade again and again and again, you'll either stay what you're doing or your mind will change slowly, the natural way. I mean, we learn and develop, don't we? We develop our own style of things. Certain trades that we might like, we might be particularly good at. I'm not a massive fan of picking tops. It's not one of my strong points. Reading the markets and these moves, I think I'm okay at. I'm above average at. But same with triple tops. I'm not confident in doing them because I haven't traded a lot. But some people, they're good at it. We've all got our strengths and weaknesses within trading. But for me, it's a numbers game and it's a maths game, and it's not you guys call it math. It's not. It's maths. You speak in English and I'm English, so there you go. But no, the maths doesn't lie. The numbers do not lie. And if the numbers give you twice the amount of profit, even 9 times out of 10, you're massively up. Massively. But that's something you'll figure out in your own time if it's a road you want to go down. Like I say, it's personal choice. Even with runners, Max says it's personal choice. I think personally, if you take a runner, follow the swings makes sense. And I think that's what Mac does. But it's a personal thing. I see some people taking a runner from here and it's up here and it's still there. Now, occasionally the market will just drop before you have a chance to do anything. I personally like to just, at least if it's up here, or at least bring it up. And I see so many people. I've seen, what's his name? Oh, who's the other trader that's got the YouTube channel? He does his analysis. What's his name? Eastern European. It'll come to me. I've seen him so many times get 6 or 8 points, and the market will come back and he'll lose them all. I don't quite get that. If it pushes up 6 or 8 points, you've at least got to grab a couple of points out of it. I don't quite get that for me. I don't see the point in it moving 8 points and coming back and stopping you out, and you're not at least moving it up a bit. You can't just keep waiting for the massive moves. Like I say, it's a personal thing. If he likes, if he does it that way and it works for him, then that's fine. We've all got our own choices to make. I have 5 counts starting from next Friday, so one good trade at 6 ticks times 2 contracts. I'm like, absolutely, mate, absolutely. You do what you're comfortable with doing. Now, I will say, more experienced traders that I know, Marco and Daniel, they take 6 points. And with markets, a little bit more volatile now, moving a bit, risk sometimes, I'd say that's a sensible starting place. Thomas Wage, yeah. I wouldn't go for a point anymore. There are people doing it. But I think the next best thing is 6 ticks. Now, 2 or 3 years down the line, when you've got nice big fat bank accounts, you may decide to go for a bit more. But that's down to you. But I'd say do what makes you feel comfortable. There's no right way and there's no wrong way. But I would say the personal decision is the right way, is the way it makes you feel comfortable. So that blew my idea of a wider channel. At least the one good thing is I'm up. What am I up today? Let's have a look. 333, that's 900 plus 1600 on my 3 valuations. So I'm up $2,700 today. Now imagine, bearing in mind I did 4 contracts risk on each of my 3 evaluations, but otherwise I'd have had 369. I'd have earned $1,800 just on my 6 PA accounts, just from a 1 3-point trade. So yeah, 6 ticks. Yeah, absolutely. I would say that's a good starting point for me, 6 ticks. I wouldn't do. Don't get me wrong. If we haven't got much room to the high, I'll quite happily take 6. I'll take a point if I think that's all it'll give me. But yeah, I'd say 6 ticks is a nice starting place. You're making 50% extra profit, and that's a massive amount, believe it or not. It doesn't sound like much but extra ticks, but it is upping your profit by 50%. Absolutely, depends on how many coffees you're at. I've got to put some clothes on. Excuse me just a second. I'll be back in a second. Okay, sorry about that. It's getting a bit choppy now, isn't it? Let me just tidy this up a bit. Let's drag that out of the way. No trays today for me yet. That's all right, mate. Plenty of time yet. There is a failure there. Trouble is, after this, it does look like one leg, two leg, breaking a new high and coming down. So I'm going to get rid of that. It doesn't matter anyway. Okay, so let me have a look. It's getting a bit choppy, isn't it? Now I'm quite glad I got my money out. Got my money earlier. What time is it? Happy days. I don't know what happened to this one tick trader here earlier. One click trader. That didn't fill me with confidence. Okay, you could say 1, 2, triple test here. It's a bit choppy actually. I'd still like to think it's going to push up to this liquidity area here, and it's still strong right up there. Yeah, you could call this a triple test. It's a bit close together for my liking. So, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm not a massive fan of them. I don't have a great deal of luck with them. Strong at 30, strong at 31, strong at 32. Very strong up here. Okay, channel break. 2, 3 pushes up to a new high. Try go once, try go twice. Failure. That would give you some points. Not a fan of it. A little bit congested. EMA's a bit flat. Second entry short. Not a fan of it. Although it did push down quite strong. But it's getting a bit. What time is it? 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, the news is in 3 hours. So. Okay, folks, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. Go and make myself a cup of tea because I am drying up. It's a bit too choppy for me. I'm not sure what's going on at the moment. It could be just a bigger range or something. So everything's closed. Let's make sure. Yes, closed. Extra paranoid. Tap 3 times, spin around once and all that. Yeah, let me just change that to. Let's leave it. Okay, yeah, see, I'm 1 trade away from 3 more evaluations passing. So that then will give me 6 PAs. So happy days. So quick 5-minute break. Make a cup of tea. And I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Did I miss? I don't know. Yeah, I thought there was a good chance it was going to go higher. Now let's put that back because I think that's valid. Break. So one leg down, two legs down, couple of attempts to go lower and push up. Beautiful. Okay, that has now moved to 35. So that measured move perfectly. Let's see how it finishes. Okay, I can see that there's a chance of it moving right up, actually. Let me have a look. There is, I'd say, likely a bigger channel moving there. Let's put that there, like that. That there, like that. Okay. I'd say touch, close enough. Bring that down a bit. Touch. Okay, push up. In fact, do you know what? Let's kill that altogether. That, to me, is a spiking channel. Yes, I think all that is that spike and then a bit of a channel link. I might be wrong, but I think that looks okay. I don't know now. I don't know. Okay, that now, there's some moved at 36, 40, and that 50, as I mentioned earlier. We're going to go up there. Anything's possible. Trouble is, we've got that news later, so could end up doing some of this. It's quite hard to say. Leg break leg. I'd say this is probably coming down some. Yeah. Bit of a gap there. Filled. Okay, so I'd say that's not a place where there's going to be much buying, I don't think. If that does finish bearish, I'd expect that to come down a bit. But I might be wrong, so don't take it. See you. I did, yeah. I actually took that one. Gave an extra tick, fortunately. I put that there, just otherwise people are going to think I got stopped out. Saw the trap there. What I should have done is put the order there, but I took that one and gave it an extra tick because I realised what was happening. Unfortunately, it went in my favour. But had I have seen that one straight after, I'd have 100% been all over that. That's the trade of the day. That is second entry long, perfect where it is. Right at the bottom of the channel, sat right on the EMA. That was a beauty. That was, and you can see the way it reacted. We had this channel down. There was a second entry short there, which triggered. So if you took that short, or you took that short when it pushed above there, you can see how it reacted. Two nice strong bars up. So got myself 3 points on 3. Well, 3 points on 3 accounts, and 4 points on 3 accounts. I got 3 evaluations, which I took $600 each on. That's $1,800 minus fees. And 3 PA accounts, which I took $300 each, $900 minus fees. So happy days. If you can do that every day per account, you make yourself a fortune. You imagine 20 accounts, 10 accounts, that's 3,000. You had 20 accounts doing that a day, you'd be putting $6,000 a day into your account. 10 days, that'd be $120,000 a month. The potential's there to earn a ton of money, really, isn't it? Christ, you couldn't fathom earning $100,000 in a month, could you? Okay, now I'm starting to think now, excuse me, that we may end up having something like that. Let's have a wee look. Okay, kind of like that. Touched a bunch of times there. Probably take that down just a smidgen. There we go. Yeah. By the time you adjust that, perfect. I just wonder when that started pushing up. I'm thinking, have we got something a bit bigger going on? In fact, you could even take that down to there. Now I think that's okay. I think that's fine where that is. Now that makes perfect sense. Now I've seen this. Now areas like the 40 and the 50 makes sense. We ain't got to go much further to get that 50 area, to be fair. That, in a day, is nothing. And what is that from the bottom to the top? So if you went from here up to the 50, 36 points. Absolutely nothing. 36 points is nothing. So that's where I think it's likely to get to if it continues. Yeah, 36 points is peanuts, really. I'd kiss them out for 100 grand a month. Yeah, you and me both, mate. Damn right, yeah. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, really, doesn't it? You know, if someone had told you 3 or 4 years ago that there's a chance you might be earning $100,000 a month, you'd have smacked them in the face, wouldn't you? And told them not to be ridiculous. No, crazy, really, isn't it? Let's put that there, I think. It's probably better. Let's have a look. Touch. That's not too bad. Let's see. Yeah, if someone had said I'd have been earning even $20,000 a month, I'd have called them an idiot. And to get a life. But the potential's there. Once you get it, you know, you can get it together. I mean, it goes to show that Vince guy withdrew $800,000 in a month out of his accounts. He had $2,300,000 accounts. So $800,000 when you think about that, $100,000 doesn't actually sound that much compared to that. But to be honest with you, if I get to the day where I can earn $20,000 a month, I will be over the moon. And it's not, I don't believe it's that far away. If I get 10 accounts, if I can average $200 a day over 10 accounts, that's $4,000 a month per account. Times that by 10, that's $10,000. Now, if the shit hits the fan and I only get half of it, still $20,000. And that is doable. So really, what I think might happen is there's areas of liquidity here, 33 to 35, and 40 and upwards. So I would say we are likely going to get this. I'd say there's a good chance we could get some of this to here and then off something on the range, on the lines of that, because we're right over to this side of the channel now, aren't we? And we're obviously stalling a bit there. That's if that channel is right. There's always a possibility it's not, but I think it looks okay, to be honest with you. We'll see. So yeah, liquidity down here, strong liquidity there. Around about the 33 to 35, yeah. So we could get some sideways stuff, some of the lines of that, bit of sideways, a couple of pushes down, push up, and then, I mean, you can see really, you can almost tell these are accurate. We go from there to there, but look at that one. We're sat right on there. That's where it took off from. It went sideways, until it got to there, and then off it went. But it's not a place to buy that, is it? So look what's happening. So a lot of trading, really, when you get into it, I suppose, it's common sense to a degree, isn't it? You know, we're studying human behaviour now. If this is a channel, the idea really is to buy here, isn't it? At the bottom of the channel. So if you're at the top of the channel, you don't really want to be buying, do you? What's your only option? To do nothing or to sell? Well, selling is a better option than do nothing. And look what happens. And like I mentioned before, I saw Marco take a short trade at the top. He only took 6 ticks, but something similar scenario at the top of range. And I thought, I wonder why he was doing it, but then it just came back beautifully and it just made perfect sense. If you're only taking a small move, not many people get, as long as your channel's accurate, that's not a place to be buying, is it? But look what happened. Nice and strongly came back down to the EMA. So that was the best part of what? 4 points, 3.5, 4 points there. So if you did short that, you know, 21-day ATR on 48 points. So yep, 36. No, 36 is nothing really, is it? I mean, was it a couple of months ago? I saw a 55-point green bar. We had some news. So yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot. But I've got to say, my pension is going up day by day because I've got a chunk of my pension. I've got about 20,000 of my pension pot in the S&P 500 and probably the rest in, I don't know, a bunch of other things. I just transferred some of it over a while ago, and it's gone up a fair chunk in the last week, couple of weeks. That got too far from the EMA. I just felt the short. Yeah, it made perfect sense, didn't it? It's not the place to go long up there, is it, really? I mean, we've had this channel, we've had a break, we had a couple of pushes up. It's clearly stalling there, bar. I mean, even if you waited for that one and then let that one appear and then took a couple of points back to there, there's no way you want to buy there. That's what I mean. A lot of trading sometimes is it makes sense, doesn't it? It's common sense. Which measured move did you take? I'd have probably gone there, actually. That's the biggest drop. So, I don't know what you've had there, whether you've gone from there or not. You might have gone from there. Well, no. I'd have probably gone from there. That, to me, was the biggest retracement. You may say it's there, but that would make it even higher. But push up. I don't know where your measured move is. You had it from there. That wouldn't make sense, would it? Because we've gone a bit high before we come down. You usually make it to that high spot there and then maybe from there. So that was our biggest retracement, from there to there, which was further than from there to there. So he's talking about the range, oh, is he? Oh, the range. Of course you did, yeah. I kiss a man for 100 grand. Things we do for money, eh? In fact, I got banned from Facebook, I did. I think there was something on Facebook, it was a while ago. Said, would you give up alcohol for $1 million? Or when I'd murder me bloody mother for $1 million? Got banned, inciting hatred. Yeah, they definitely take it out of context, don't they, Facebook? Possible leg, break leg. So there is some liquidity at 36. Hold on a minute, where's the low stuff? There's some at 34. I mean, you would think this would be a good place to buy, wouldn't you? And the month I'll even throw in a little song. Why not? I love my mum. I was only joking, but imagine a ban you from Facebook for inciting hatred. Mine's sadly no longer with us now. She passed just a couple of days after Christmas. Cancer. Nasty, innit? But yeah, they banned me for 3 days. I've got some quite heated debates actually on Facebook group with people in some people in the crypto community that just bang on and rubbish a lot of cryptos, especially the ones I've got some of. And I've got into some heated debates. And I've been banned a couple of times. Well, funnily enough, she wasn't that old. She was 74. She had a fall. She got out of bed one night and she fell and hit the bedside cabinet and she punctured her lung. So they took her into hospital and they scanned the lung. They found she had a piece of cancer on her lung. So she had a bit of it taken away. And then sort of, I don't know, 4 or 5 months later, they did more scans or whatever and then found it was in her adrenal glands. It was in a hip. They even gave her a hip transplant to try and get rid of it. And it just got too bad in the end. But it's life, innit? Sometimes it happens. In the words of my mum, you just got to get on with it. That's what she used to say. Nothing fazed her. She was quite happy about going. She had no bother with it. My mum was a nurse for years and years, and she worked even, 5 years before retirement, she worked in old people's homes. So she's nursed plenty of people and sent them on their sort of final journey. So she's seen it so many times, and she was okay with it. She'd been it, seen it, done it. But yeah, it was in her adrenal glands, her hip. lungs, I think somewhere else as well. But yeah, it is a sad way to go. Trouble is with cancer, it sort of slowly tears you down, doesn't it? You know, as we know, heart disease kills way more people in Western society than cancer does. But cancer's the one everyone fears. I mean, a heart attack, boom, you go, don't you? But cancer makes you look different. You lose your hair, you lose weight, you look gaunt. It's just not a kind way to go, is it? I'd rather just drop down dead one day, I would, rather than that. 74. Yeah. Trouble is, so many people get it. I mean, my wife went for, it was her birthday on the 10th, and she went out for a few drinks with some friends around the corner, and there was a lady there. Just one of their neighbours was 65, she is. She lost her husband at 58 in cancer, so you just don't know, do you? But a nurse friend of mine told me, if you can get to 60 to 70 without getting any type of cancer, your chance then to get to 80 increases dramatically. So that's the trick. If you can get from 60 to 70 without anything. Unfortunately, my mum had cancer many times. She had breast cancer young. She was in her 30s. She had a womb removed. So she just one of those unfortunate, some of the kindest people on earth type that get the hard time, My mum had quite a tough life. My dad was killed when I was 3. She was 21. He was killed in Northern Ireland serving the British forces. She remarried about 6 years later. He died when I was 21. He had a massive heart attack. She was only 40, so she'd lost 2 husbands. Not long after my dad was killed, literally weeks, she miscarried on twins. So she'd had quite a tough life. But she was one of the bravest, fighting, fit women you'll ever meet, always looking after her, always just one of those type of people. And it is sad, really. Sometimes the best people around get the toughest ride sometimes, don't they? And the people, who treat other people like dirt sometimes, the sort of non-kind variety seem to just go on forever, don't they? But it's the way it works. But the toughest part for me was my daughter, because she's 14 and she was really, you know what teenagers are like if you've got kids. They're hard work and they tend to, my mum was the power of strength for her. So they go through tough times with hormones, and she was always on the phone to my mum. So it's been tough for her, really. Losing a grandparent at 14, it's just a little bit young, isn't it? They find it hard to deal with. So she's going through that phase where she's worrying about, anything happening to me and my wife. So that little bit of anxious, panicky, worried about, go to sleep sometimes in case she doesn't wake up. A lot of us go through it at some point, but it's a young age, isn't it? But some people have way tougher lives. I suppose we're lucky in a sense, aren't we? We could be sort of living in the Middle East in places where they've seen, war-torn places year after year. That's all they've ever known. What's going on here? Have a look. Right, this area here extends for around about here to here, so we may, as I mentioned, have a bit of sideways. Hopefully, let's get rid of that a minute. Hopefully, it might do so. In fact, it might have a leg. That looks like a bear flag, actually, so I expect a leg, a bit of sideways, and then another leg, which would make sense. So let's get rid of that, because I think there is a failure there which is triggered. It's not a failure I really want to take, but I expect that push down, a little bit of sideways at an angle, and then another quick push down. I expect sort of like a mirror image. Keep coming. There is some at 30. Can't see it coming down. We may get a quick spike, but I think you're open if you think it's going to come down that low. It might do. If it hits this measured leg, it may have a quick spike down. So actually it's 33. They've moved it a little bit. 33.50. Sorry, that's up now to 32. Okay, so yeah, it's around about there. There is, funnily enough, look where this Look where these buy orders are. That actually makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Leg, sideways, another leg. Pick up some buy orders. Move on up. And funnily enough, right where that measured leg is. If you're going to go long here and you're looking for an entry, where's the best place to go after that measured leg? Right at the key entry point. Yeah, it's 32, 32. It's around about here. You're playing the overshoot on the big channel. Yeah. Trouble is, it's only really touched in one place. So I would say, based on what I can see, I'm not convinced it is, because you could bring it down to there. So it's hard to say. I think, in all fairness, it's probably a sensible decision to assume that it may do that. But these liquidity levels here and here, I don't think it's going to personally, but I might be wrong. But yeah, I think it's always best to err on the side of caution. So if you do jump in here, I'm not saying it's not going to go up, but it's good to be aware of that. It doesn't always make a difference. Sometimes you'll just get similar sort of move just out and then it'll carry on. But other times it reverses. As we know, it did it a few times yesterday. There was about three, one up here, one down here, and another one up here, 3 overshoots in a row. And it exactly did that. It reversed. So it is. So there's a big lump of liquidity. Let me just get that one out of the way. Around about the 31 to 33. So let's move this over here. So about 31 to 33. Yeah. So there's a chunk around there. So if you're going to go long here, or you could be taking your profits. And then from 38 to 40, that 50 is still there. So from 38 to 40, so here, there's 2 levels there. So if we do push down here, we may pick up these buy orders, and that might push us higher. Or it may be shorts taking profits. Just being cautious, yeah, absolutely. I've said that many times. Sometimes you're best off to err on the side of caution. If you're aware, then it stops you getting stuck in them. And that's half the battle with trading. It's not finding the good setups. It's finding the areas where you might get entrapped as well. Because it can look like a good setup, but it can be a trap. We see some great setups sometimes, but if you don't, if you're not getting the whole context of what's going on, and that's how you learn. And I've spent loads of times trapped, loads of times. But what I tend to do now is I like it to set up a trap and see what happens. And if it doesn't, if it wouldn't have trapped me, that's usually then an indicator it's heading in the direction I'm thinking. So sometimes it's always good to err on the side of caution. Okay, here's the push down I expected. It's something we see all the time, bear flag. Push down, a little bit of a slight angle, followed by another push down, almost like a mirror image. So it's going to start picking off some of these. It is picking them off now, so I expect that to come down to here, or near us. level at 44.50 is huge. Yeah, it is. That's what I got here up. That's what's telling me it's going up. There's liquidity here, buy orders, so I'm guessing it's going to push up. There's some here, and it's just building as well. It's strong at 40, and there's 565 orders up here, so guessing, depending on where you went long there, that's likely to be, well, I think almost definitely going to be where your profit is. But I suppose, depending on how the market develops, that might come down or it may even go up. But yeah, just be aware of that overshoot. It might not make a massive difference. Some cases it just pops out there a little bit that side and then carries on. But as we know, other times it reverses. It did it 3 times yesterday. In fact, 40 as well. There's 536 orders here as well. So this is the first target I expect. There is some there. So leg, break, leg. Just want that to come down and play this measured move. And as it hits that measured move, it may have that little opposite breakout here. Depends how strong the market is, really. ATR's come down a bit, so it might be one of those days where it just continues higher and higher. It certainly looks like it could be. You know, with areas up here, it does look like a nice, steady, trending day. We're getting more and more of these, and you've only got to look at the S&P 500 over the last month and, well, 6 weeks. If you look at the daily, it's just climbed massively. I just got my final year university results, graduating. Did I? Good for you, mate. Good for you. Young as well, all your life ahead of you. Wow. I wish I could do it all again. Love to do it all again. Good for you, mate. Good for you. University results, brilliant. Graduating in July. Well done. Well done. Oh, so we could go up. We could go down or not. Whole life ahead of you. Wow. Great age to learn to trade, though, or to trade. Great age. Great age. I mean, most attractive things about trading for me is working for yourself. Never worrying about getting sacked, getting made redundant, running out of work. You know, injuries, stuff like that, that can all keep you off work. Work for yourself, pick your own hours, live where you want in the world. You can see why it's attractive. You can see why more and more people are doing it. I think just people just underestimate how difficult it is, which is why there's such a high turnaround. But I've always been a believer, if it's humanly possible, then as far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm not giving up. Could go in circles. I've never seen it go in circles before, but I see what you mean. Thing is, if you managed to get a trade, how did you learn your bricklaying? Well, to be honest with you, at the time, I was driving. I used to work for an oil company, and I was driving Arctics, basically, oil tankers, and I just got fed up. I used to go from Shrewsbury in the UK up to Chester way, just sort of right at the north coast of Wales. There's a big oil refinery called Stanley up there, and I used to go up there, which was about 65 miles, 70 miles. I used to pick up a tanker full of oil. I used to come back to Shrewsbury. I used to drop a full tanker off, pick up an empty tank, and do the same in the afternoon. I did that every day, Monday to Friday for 11 years, and I just got sick to the back teeth of it. So a friend of mine was a bricklayer, and I've always been quite hands-on. I was good with DIY, and he said there was a short course at college, over a few weekends. So I did it and enjoyed it. And I did that for about 4 years. And then lockdown came, and then all the sites started shutting. So then I went back to driving HGV. But what got me into trading, I used to do something called match betting. I did that for a couple of years. It's just taking advantage of the free bets that the bookmakers give you, and it's not gambling. It's a certain formula that you use. So I spent a lot of time sat in front of a computer, and I quite enjoyed it. I was quite comfortable with it, and that's what got me into trading by pure luck. I was looking at Betfair trading, thinking about learning to trade sports bets. And then this came along, and that, as they say, is that. My last will look bloody terrible. That's it. It's not easy. Bricklaying looks easy, but it's not. It does take time. It's just practice, numbers game. But it's a nice skill to have, especially if you're on your own home. You can build conservatories and extensions and all that sort of thing. But trouble with bricklaying, why it costs such a lot of money to build things, is because of the amount of sheer man hours. But it's an enjoyable job. But the trouble is, the construction industry in the UK is probably like all over the world. It does suffer its downtimes. Like at the moment, house prices are starting to drop. With the current climate, interest rates are high. It's expensive to borrow, and everything's expensive at the moment, and people don't get the wage rises, and the housing market is starting to struggle. So obviously that has a knock-on effect with the construction industry. Do you still work on a job, or do you trade? No, I trade full-time now. I did up until about 6-7 weeks ago. I worked weekends, and I very nearly went back, but so far I'm getting the odd payment now, and I'm managing, but I'm sort of playing it week by week. But I've had a payment now, went into the bank last night, and one of my accounts is looking quite nice. So I'm probably going to have another one, which I'll apply for on the 15th, which will give me at the end of the month. So that'll be $4,000 in a month. My wife earns okay, pretty good. So, and I get a bit from affiliate links as well. So that covers my trading. So I'm doing okay at the moment, but can I plaster? No, I can't. That is a tough one. I did a plastering course years ago when we bought our own house, just to tidy up the walls, and I found it hard. That's another thing, like bricklaying, it's a knack. But I found that really hard on the shoulders. Okay, so we've had this little breakout here. I found trading because of Michael Chin. You and me both, mate. Well, I found trading futures because of Michael Chin. I signed up with a British trader, Andrew Lockwood, who used to trade in the trading pits in the London Stock Exchange during the 80s. And he was working at Singapore, setting up their computer systems in early 2000s when everything went computerized. And then he just decided to work for himself from home, and that's what he's been doing since. And he has a massive following. I think he has 100,000 people following him, and he has like a monthly thing. You pay X amount and you join it. You can watch him trade. He's a very good trader. Got a big house right in the centre of London, but he's a nice guy, very humbled. And I spent 6 months sort of being mentored by him through his group. But the trouble is, if anyone's ever traded currency, you've got screens everywhere, different currency pairs here, there, everywhere, different time frames, and I just had charts everywhere. And when I saw Michael Chin and that trading one chart, one time frame, I was hooked. I've been trading for 11 months and never withdraw. How long do you think you have to trade? First withdrawal, it depends, mate, how much time you put in. You have to put a lot of time in. So when I was working, now the beauty about trading in the UK is general market hours start at 2:30. So I was working till about 5 o'clock, and I was coming home and trading for about 3 hours every evening, and I was doing that for quite a while. But I took my first payment about a year and a half after I'd started learning this system here. So, but I think I was not so much a slow learner, but I had a tendency to battle with the market a lot, so I chucked a lot of money away. But some people learn, I'm a bit thick-headed, I am. It takes me, I'm a bit stubborn. So I think it's just took me a little bit longer than some, but put it this way, is it worth it? Absolutely. Can you earn a lot of money? Absolutely. But it does take time. And if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So I would just say put in as many hours as you can. Try and put in a couple of hours a day in front of the chart. Now, if you can't trade the chart in the daytime, you can always open up the chart in the evening. Do like Marco does with his bar by bar. Drag everything to the right and then just use the arrow button and then bring it, into the screen bar by bar and trade it as you were trading it. But it takes time. I'd say realistically, until I started to get it, it probably took me a year until I started to get a bit more comfortable. But then you've got the psychological battle, that batters you as well. So there's different levels to it. But stick at it. You've got to stick at it. A lot drop out. That's why they got such a high hit rate. And it is because people drop out. I'm done. Excellent. Good for you, Indy. Good on you, mate. I don't blame you. I'm done as well, really, to be fair. I'm just sitting here for another half an hour just to keep you guys company. I'm happy not trading anything else. That's plenty for me. I got that in 3 accounts. So I've got $900 into my PAs now and another $1,600 into my Apex evaluations. So they'll be passed after one more trade. So which will probably happen tomorrow or Friday. What I should have done yesterday's, if I didn't take it, I should have done a micro on them, but I forgot. Did I get profitable with him? No, I didn't, mate. No. I found it hard, to be honest, with the currency. I'd only been doing it 6 months, so it's really, I didn't even know what was going on to me half the time. It takes a bit of time. But if you're absolutely new to trading, I think you could do worse and go to him, because he does teach people as if they're a complete beginner. Look Andrew Lockwood up on YouTube if you fancy having a go at currency. He's a very experienced trader, and it's so much about risk management. I like that. He talks a lot about risk management. He doesn't turn up in a red Ferrari and tells you can make this, that, and the other. He tells you it's hard. He tells you it's tough. He's a good and fair guy. And I'm, 6 months with him taught me the basics about trading himself. If you come straight over to Mac as a complete beginner, you're going to struggle. So I'd get some basic education first, really. But I found him good. It was about £250 he charged me for 6 months, and you could message him and watch him trade, and it's a good learning process from complete beginner. But some courses, they charge you a ridiculous amount of money and they rip you off. So, but I'll always recommend Mac. $125 for a year. That's peanuts. That is. That's the cheapest course I've ever seen, and it's good value for money as well. He's a lovely guy, and I'd recommend many people to him. If I had a chance to do it all again, I'd absolutely go to him again, 100%. Do you do much prep work before you start here? Not really. I just obviously set my chart up, and sometimes I set it up an hour before if I'm flitting around and just have a look. But sometimes I might do a little bit of relaxing, maybe 5-10 minutes. if you struggle a bit, some of those trader affirmations, you know, the where they tell you you're an amazing, good-looking, handsome, muscly guy who's a fantastic trader, you know, the stuff that makes you feel good. But it plays a good purpose, actually. You know, it helps you to stay focused and psychs you up a little bit. But I haven't done that so much lately because I find I'm in a good place now and I don't need it so much. But I've gone to bed week after week with headphones in, with hypnosis, all these different vibration stuff playing in my head that are supposed to, you know, flit around your brain and make you do this and that. But I never really found any of it worked. The only thing I found worked that's made me a little bit more confident and take better trades now is just time, really. You know, you only fail and torture yourself for so long before something changes. But yeah, I tend to, realistically, I like to get to the charts for around about the 2 o'clock because I set my stream up, which takes me 5 or 10 minutes, and I just relax, have a cup of tea, you know, just chill out a bit and calm down, because you always get a little bit of the nerves, a little bit of excitement, so I like to calm down a little bit. But yeah, you'll be fine. You'll find your own natural way of doing it. Do you know what? We could come down here and bounce in. We could go a little bit sideways now up to the news. It's hard to say, really. Let's have a look. There is some liquidity at 25. Oh, sorry about that. Excuse me a minute. Sorry about that. Then he jumped down on my skin. Good afternoon, J37. How you doing? Do you watch Max chart reviews, YouTube channels? Yes, I do. Yeah. A lot of the, what I will say is a lot of the trades he takes are way more advanced, and they're only trades you can really mark after we've seen it. A lot of them are slightly risky, but you need to be experienced. So a lot of the stuff, I mean, I take one trade today, you'll probably see 20 in this lot. So, but I think listen to him, the way he talks about it. There's definitely some value from watching Mac. But if you only find 1 or 2 trades and he finds 20, don't worry about that. He's been doing this over 25 years. You just know, you'll know the market inside and out. How do you fight the urge? You want to trade every large bar, as Al Brooks would say. Just get in, not working for me. No, same again. Al Brooks is a very experienced trader, been doing it donkey's years. When you're that experienced, you just notice things. When you've seen that chart day after day, you just know what's going on. I mean, we're trading, really. We're studying human behaviour, how human beings feel when these things are happening. You know, he'll be sort of a master at it to a degree. When you studied human beings, human behaviour for 30 odd years, you can't help but be good at it. It's like anything, the more you do it, the better you get at it. But I do find sometimes I've only just scratched the surface. There is a lot to it, and every day is a school day, really. You're always learning something. But that's what I like. That's what keeps me interested. I like it when something goes wrong and I find out why. Wow, look at that. So if there's anybody taking loads of longs in there thinking, yeah, happy days, we're going all the way up here, you've just got kicked in the nuts. Yeah, see, I know. I'll tell you for something now. If there's a setup going long here, that gorilla guy will be here. He'll put his stop here. He'll put his stop here. He'll put his stop here, and that'll come down and take him out. There'll be a lot of traders that were in and around here, I think, thinking going long that just took out. Have you done the R. Brooks? I haven't, mate. No, I just went straight from Andrew Lockwood to watching Riley Coleman and Michael Chin. I watched them for maybe about a month, and after trading currency, and you've got charts everywhere, and you've got the six majors. There's just chart screens everywhere. I had 4 screens with all stuff all over them, and a separate laptop. And when I saw those just trading one chart, one time frame, that was for me. And I'm quite, as you can tell, I talk a lot. I'm quite a wired person. So intraday trading throughout the day, putting orders in and waiting for 5 or 6 hours, just, you know, I like the quick movement of this. It stimulates my brain a bit, you know, but you did say after you've been trading a while, you might veer towards a certain style of trading. You know, some people are quite calm and methodical thinkers and planners. They might make better, you know, long-term traders or you know, swing traders or long-term, you know, hold long-term positions. And some people are a little bit, you know, their brains work a little bit quicker and they're a little bit flittier, may sort of suit this quicker moving stuff. You took it there, did you? Where'd you go? A short, I'm assuming. Is that what you mean? Or here? Who's Mac? I will show you. So if you go onto YouTube, I'll show you his YouTube page, and you can see there about 13 years of videos. And then I'll show you his website. And then I'll give you the biggest gift of all. I'll tell you how much he charges a year. Okay, so there's his web page. It's a new one. That's new. I know, sorry. It's a Facebook group, but yeah, if you click on videos, 2.2 thousand videos, going back 13 years. He does these Monday to Friday, not this week because he's away fishing, but he is the Mac we talk about trading this, and his website, I'll show you if you want to join it. It cost a grand total of $125 for a year. And that's his webpage. priceactiontrading.com. There's all sorts of information on there. There's video after video after video explaining everything. He puts a midday chart on it. There's a forum on it. There's different indicators, all sorts of bits of stuff. And he charges a measly $125. And in my opinion, that's cheap than you will find anywhere. And that's for a year. And that's how I learned all this from Mac. He's a lovely bloke. Watch some of his videos on YouTube. But that system he trades is brilliant and it's accurate. And when you get experience of market context and you can put, you know, these trades into play, they work brilliantly. They're very accurate. So out of all the traders I know that, you know, I've seen that teach, Mac by far, in my opinion, is by far the best. I was about to pay Michael Bloody Chin £350 on my money, and then I realised he'd nicked the idea off Mac, or he'd repackaged it. So I'm quite glad I googled, and then I made the right decision. I spent the first year with Mac, and then I didn't sign up for the next 6 months, and then I signed up again about 6 months ago because I like to go over the basics now and again and just re-look at the basics, which I think is useful. You shorted that failure. Oh, that one there. Yeah, I did say we had that push down. We usually get this bear flag and we usually get another push down, which we did further than I was expecting. But yeah, try to go once, try to twice, after failure. Yeah, you could see why there may be some longs going there as well, and that triggered. So yeah, makes sense that, especially by the way that dropped. And with that overshoot, we're coming down. Yeah. I did mention we see that all the time, that push down and then a little bit of sidewards at a slight downwards angle, bear flag, and then another push down. Thanks. You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. Honest to God, I wouldn't tell you otherwise, but sheerly for the fact that it's $125, you can't go wrong. You know, I know people like Warrior Trading that I know, a girl in the UK paid about $2,500 and she thinks it was a big con, but I don't know whether it is or not. But it just goes to show $2,500 against to do a course against $125 for a year. So you won't go wrong on Mac, I assure you of that. turn it to be a bigger cycle, yeah, and advice for passing evaluations. Just take your time. You're going to fail a lot. Here, look. Where am I up to? Apex. I've blown about 165 of them. So you will blow a load of them. But just take your time. Stick to, if you're doing a 50,000, I'd stick to maybe maximum of 2 contracts and just take your time. God bless Mac. Oh, Christ, yeah. Mac's 1 in a million. He's just a lovely bloke. And he did say, didn't he, a while ago, he said if he does well at this, he wanted to give something back. And crikey, for $125, that's a gift, in it. He's a lovely bloke. He's been putting videos on YouTube 4 days a week, and he doesn't have to. But he's been doing that for the last, 12, 13 years. The bloke's a diamond, he is. But yeah, don't stress too much. Just take them. Just try and find good, solid setups. Now, when you trade, when you start, you're probably taking 5, 6, 7, maybe 20, 30 trades a day, and I was myself. But narrow them down to good setups. Watch Mac's video. What I will recommend is join the Facebook group. Take a photo. There's my trading chart. Every day, I save image. Look, there's all my charts, or most of them. Save your chart every day and post it on the Facebook group and ask for feedbacks. Mark where you took your trades and how many points, and then people are just, you'll learn as you go along. I've been doing it two years this start now, and I don't think I'm doing terrible. I think my ability to read the chart is above average. I've struggled with discipline and revenge trading, but I seem to feel like I'm having them under control now. But yeah, post your videos, ask for feedback. That's the only way you learn. The more expensive the experienced guys help the less experienced, and so on. It's a cycle. But just keep trying and trying and trying, and just by trading, you'll get better. It's like anything, but it does take time. It's not easy, but for the sort of money you can earn, it's not going to be easy. Otherwise, we'd all be doing it. I blew 165. Well, maybe a little bit less, because some of them are passed into, where am I now? Yeah, some of them moved into PA. So yeah, about 165, something like that, yeah. I went for the stage of blowing them daily. It's the Facebook group Max. I don't think it's run by Mac. I'll get that up for you now. I don't think it's run by Mac. But I think people like Marco, Daniel, and there are a few others who are mentors in it, but I'll drag it in for you. There we go. Max price action day trading, but, there's all sorts. I mean, Marco, he's admin, experienced trader, very robotic, very calm. I like Marco. He's helped me a lot. Hints and tips. There's his chart for yesterday, and everyone just puts their charts on as chit chats. He's another moderator, Daniel, another good trader's done really well. Brant Yulia in here, and Jope, he disappeared for a while, but he's come back. He's another pretty experienced trader who seems to do really well. He's a nice guy, Jope. He helped me out when I started a couple of years ago. So Marco again. So just post your chart there every day and ask for feedback, and then learn as you go along. But it takes time, but just stick to it. Sean, new here, nice and chill, excellent. Seems we may chop with Fed coming up. Yeah, things have slowed down a bit, mate. I wouldn't be surprised if we start doing this for a while. There's still a massive liquidity at 40. There's that one at 50. There's some at 33 here, but I have a feeling we may just do some of this. It's hard to say, really. What time is it? I'm going to finish in a minute anyway. I usually do 3 hours. Yeah, I know a guy who's blown 500 accounts. Well, I know of him. But it happens. It happens. Sorry about that. Let's have a look. In fact, I'm going to knock on the head, actually. I usually finish in 3 hours. So, yeah, let's get rid of some of this now. So, yeah, that's me done for the day. Nice 300 points up over 3 accounts, $900, plus another $1,660 over 3 more evaluations. Excuse me, which should be done and dusted after one more trade, I think. So everything traded today, so everything counts as a day. 1 trade, 3 points. That's it. Not a huge amount of volume, actually. But I think it's probably going to... I don't know whether there's a bigger channel going on there. I don't know. I don't think so. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. It's probably going to slow down for a while, I'd say. Let's have a look. It's not moving we've got a steady uptrend here, but it's not moving very fast. So I think there's probably people holding back a little bit for this pending news. So that's me done for the day. So look, I appreciate all your comments. Nice trade to the day. Nice way to end the day, especially after two 0 days. So there we go. So I'll be back here again, same time, just before the market opens tomorrow. So I appreciate all your comments. So have a great evening, stay safe, and we'll be back here again same time tomorrow, and we will do it all again. Okay, so bye for now.